Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you the nails that I did for the vacation that I went on. I did the white application of the tips and all that on my last video, which I'll link in the description box for you. These other colors that I decided to use today, and I did not use this decal, but I use a decal similar to this one. These colors are from 915 Aesthetics, and they are absolutely gorgeous. Just wait till you see them. And of course, I can't do a mani these days without my SJ3 stuff. And then here is a decal dish made from Resonating RVA. She made me a decal dish, and I am absolutely obsessed with it now that I've used it officially. There was all of the SJ3 things, all of the items that I was going to use to kind of help me with my mani. This is Smoke Show. It was initially the freebie that came with the orders placed during a certain period, but it's so amazing and was highly requested to be a mainline color, so now it is a mainline color. Also, I want to throw out that I did not use peel base on this mani, and I had absolutely zero chips, zero lifting, nothing happened until I got back from my trip. Then I decided to take all of my nails off because it was 11 days, and I just was like needing a fill, and vacation and driving, I just needed to take them off. So spoiler alert, they lasted the whole time, but I ended up taking them off. So there is that. But the liquids that I'm using are from Moon Dust Dipco. I love her liquids. They are some of my favorites. Now, I did just recently, while I was gone, a package arrived with the 915 liquids that I cannot wait to test out, which I'm going to do on my next video. So stay tuned if you want to check out that video. I'm obsessed with her powders. I don't know like what magic she puts into her powders, but everything that I have done so far with her powders have been like amazing. The way that they are just like put together, just I don't know what she's doing with them, but her solids are like some of my favorite solids. I know a lot of people were a fan of Cascade Colorworks, which was her previous company that she was had a partner with, but she brought that same magic over. I didn't try the Cascade Colorworks because by the time I found them, they were going out of business, and she said she was going to do a new adventure, so I just patiently waited for her to do her new adventure. And as soon as she did, I was like, yes, I have got to try them. So impressed. Definitely one of my top favorite companies as of now, and going to stay on that train. So the liquids have to be amazing, right? So I'm not using them in this video because I didn't have them, but Moon Dust and Hematite are my top two liquids that I've been using nonstop with no problems. No lifting, no chipping. The base coat is like a medium dry time, like a medium to fast dry time, but not so fast that you can't do what you need to do. So that is what I've been loving about these ones. So I don't use dip top, but the dip top coats are nice. I just am not a dip top coat person, though I'm trying to be because it's summertime with all the sun and UV and being outside and the lamp and all that. I'm trying to be a dip top coat person, but I'm working my way there. But anyway, back to this color. This color is so beautiful. I was looking at it because I was like, you really only have to do one layer of it to like have the full coverage, especially with the white underneath already. It kind of gives it that pop. But with going on vacation, I was really not wanting to redo my nails, so I was just like, for continuity and how I always do my nails' sake, to do another layer just because it's just how I usually do my nails, and I didn't want to feel off or like I missed a step or something. But you can totally see that I did not have to do a second layer. I just could have done one and been totally fine with how it sparkled and the coverage and the opacity and everything, but I go ahead and do two just because that's what I always do, and I don't like to feel odd on them. So that's why I keep checking them out. Plus the sparkle was beautiful. I was just like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and do a second layer. But I did not show the second layer on camera just because it gets repetitive. So now I am actually going to go ahead and activate it because I did the sparkle because I couldn't wait to use it before using my solids for some reason. So I just wanted to make sure that all the sparkle was taken off so that I could reduce the likelihood of getting the sparkle onto the other nails. And also what I've learned to do when I'm doing dip, especially with me not using peel base for this one, is I'll activate the nail and gently go around the edges on the cuticle with an old file. As you can tell, it's a very old file as to not cut myself, but I'll go around the edges and I will just clean them up just a little bit while the dip is not super hard so that I can kind of get the shape a little bit where I want it. And I did not use clear on top of this either. It applied so smooth, so I did not even have to use any clear on top of it. But I do like to clean up the edges so that I don't have a whole lot to do when it comes time to actually get to the shaping. So I go ahead and try to use some alcohol to get the rest of the glitter or sparkle, just the shimmer, I guess, off the rest of my skin, because usually I don't do the sparkle or the shimmer until last, but I kind of went in halfway knowing what I wanted to do and halfway not. But I know I wanted to use this color, so I used it first. Now here is the white. It is an amazing white, like a 1 coverage white. And the container was really full, so that's why I just dumped a little bit out into the Dipcup liner just because I didn't want to spill it. And I am using my non-dominant hand, so the likelihood of spilling increases by 1,000 when I'm using my non-dominant hand. And I don't want to have to make them super bulky by adding multiple layers. Since I am no peel base, left hand, which is my non-dominant hand, I just want to make sure everything goes on really smooth. So as you can see, it's going over the white nail still, which gives it that pop, but that's 1 coverage, and there is sparkle underneath on that white that you just can't even see. So the white is really good. It's not one of those chalky whites either. It's a super nice white. I don't know what else to say that, but it's just a super nice white. And this color blush, I used it on my previous one, my first 915 mani that I did, and I really, really enjoy it. I'm not a pink person, but this solid, nice, light pink is super beautiful. It's really, really light, so I end up having to do 3 layers of it just to get the opacity that I want to have with it. So I do 3 layers of it, but it still wasn't very thick and still was super, super gorgeous. And then I end up actually kind of nicking my ring finger with the file, so I was really upset about that, but you'll see later. Just ignore it. I'm warning you now to ignore it, so heed the warning. It does bleed a little bit, so spoiler alert to not pay attention to that. But I do 2 layers of the white because I just feel like 2 layers is a good number. It's what I always do, between 2 and 3 on all of them. But these liquids are so thin that even if I have done 5 layers and my nails have still been super thin. So these liquids are super, super good. If you haven't tried them out, I would definitely recommend it. Also, if you are prone to getting dip flu, these liquids do not give me any dip flu. I don't have a fan running or anything, and I don't get sick after using these. And they're normal liquids. They're just low odor normal liquids, like normal dry time. They're not odorless, which can be a booger sometimes to figure out the dry time or having to wait forever. So if you struggle with dip flu, I recommend these liquids and the hematite liquids that are releasing on August 11th. I think the 11th. Yes, the 11th. When I put this video up today, it will be the next day. So August 11th, they will release the hematite liquids. So either one of those 2 liquids, you can't go wrong if you struggle with dip flu. I know a lot of people switch to doing gel method because they get really bad dip flu. Totally don't have to do that, and you don't have to struggle with odorless either. I would totally recommend giving both of those a try because I've struggled with dip flu and trying out different liquids, and I finally found some that work. So I'm pretty loyal to those. Looking forward to trying out the 915 ones. So I will have to give you a review when I try them out in my next video. So here we are. We are at the activator stage because everything's looking nice. Sometimes I don't brush off the excess powder, especially with a white or a solid color. I just let it just soak in. I mean, it could make them bulkier, but it is what it is. Also, check out the little activation. It makes the pink that much darker. So it's not a super light pink, but it darkens up when you activate it. So that's why I also recommend swatching, because the color you get in the jar is not necessarily the color that you get on the swatch after it's activated. And look at how cute this little decal dish is. I'll leave everything linked below for all of the things. But here's what I use to apply my decal. The bowl of water. I use a stamper to apply. I use these sharp tweezers. Be very careful because they are very sharp. With the silicone end on it to help pat the decal down. And I use Maniology Sticky Base because it's my favorite to use. Also, here I switched decals. I told you I didn't use that one because it wasn't quite popping like I wanted on the white. So I switched decals. So it's the same application, but I just switched the decal. I put it on the middle finger. This is like a cuticle decal. You can put it wherever you want, but this is just what I like to use these ones for. To give it that little bit of a pop. I apply the sticky base and I wait for about 10 to 15 seconds. Blow a little bit on my finger just to dry it just a little bit. But I put the decal on when it's still a little bit wet so that I can move it around to the position that I want before it dries. Also got something on my nail, which I had to get off because it's a white nail. So I had a little spot of something on my stamper. But if you put the decal on when it's just a little bit not dry, not super sticky where it's going to grab and hold it, you have just a little bit of wiggle room time to move it exactly where you want it before it starts to want to rip. Also, this is acetone, so I go ahead and melt the sides of the decal so that all the excess is kind of wiped off, I guess you could say, so it like melts it to the nail, molds it to the nail and the cuticle line and all that. And then I also, since it's a single image, I like to melt the edges right there just so that it kind of like seals it into the nail. So nothing is going to be popping up and sticking up in my top coat or anything like that. But look at how easy that was to just kind of like throw on there, and everything's ready to go. So I'll throw a base coat on, I'll put a top coat on, and then here's what we're looking like. Ignore the pink nail because it just got a little away from me, but look at how beautiful that color is. I was totally holding this out on y'all. I wore this my entire vacation. I wore it for 12 days and it looked beautiful. So here's when it was freshly done, and then at the beach is 5 days of wear, still looking great. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.